Hello, you're back again here with Devolution magazine for D-Vlog, and I am here with Tom from Celestial Sanctuary.
What's up?
Now, I have to say, a couple of weeks back, I got your EP, your new EP.
Oh, yeah.
Visions of Stagnant Blood. I got it in my inbox, and my God, it's phenomenal. The production on it is stunning.
Oh, double thank you. Cheers.
So,
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
So it's your debut for Metal Blade, I understand.
Right. Yeah.
So is it a precursor to something bigger, an album?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we initially released this sort of like 6 months after not 6 months, a few months after our second album, and it just flowed really quickly, and I think it just signals like a new direction for songwriting, where I think a lot of people might assume because we've like signed some Metal Blades and there's sort of like more pressure on us that we might sort of like ease up, but they're very much like encouraged us to go down more brutality, go heavier. So we've channeled that on the latest song, but yeah, this is very much like a next step to like where we're headed, I think, and I think it gives a really good idea of what we're doing and what we're about.
It's awesome because I was very aware of the old school death metal revival thing a few years back, but you're bringing it right up to modern sort of production standards, and it's like the tone is so grisly. I'm proper in love with the guitar tone on it. It seems to be so that it's not like, because it always felt a bit backhanded to say old school death metal because it's new death metal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think you kind of claiming that proper death metal, I think would be a better term, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Traditional death metal.
Yeah.
I think, and like obviously as a metal fan and seeing like the death metal revival and like obviously these older bands are like really having like a heyday now. And at first it was kind of cool to get like lumped in with that, but then I think like, no, we're not like old school. Like we're not trying to recreate what's come before us. Obviously it influences us and plays a part in our sound and stuff, but I think with modern bands, obviously where we are, like we've had like loads more other stuff like come out since those days that is going to play a part in our sound. Mastodon is probably like one of our biggest influences, like aside from like Morbid Angel and Cannibal Corpse. I think that's what takes it in a more modern direction when you factor everything in, and we're a product of our environment, basically. Absolutely,
and I think these days, especially in death metal, like when you listen to those, not dissing Morbid Angel or anything like that, but when you listen to those early things that we revered back in the day, it's like guitar playing, guitars themselves, amps, and all those things have come like light years since then. So it's just like, it seems a bit silly to be like just taming the way you play anyway. So whereas you guys seem to be like technically just so on point, like it's fantastic. So as you say, there's an album to come.
So we're writing that at the moment. Like we've never really stopped. Like I say, like that EP came out like not even a year after our second album. It's because we were just like straight away writing. Obviously, I mean the first version has now been re-released through Metal Blade, but as soon as we finish that, like, we don't stop. Like we're a band, like we're always writing music and always sort of like playing around with ideas and stuff. So we're definitely like in a more active phase of writing the next album, which is really exciting.
And obviously, like your old label bosses are taking you on tour and all that. So So I love that Church Road like acts like that sort of middleman. And it's great to see. Like Svalbard went to stepped up, and so did Harriet. So it seems to be that kind of home where it's just like they develop a band.
Definitely. And I think like every period in time like needs that label to really be like the jumping off point for bands. Like, we would have happily like stayed on that label forever, but Metal Blade is Metal Blade sort of thing. But but I think like, like looking back like of my era, like you could go back like a few, not 100 years, but like a little bit back, and it was like obviously 30 Days a Night and Siege of Amida, and then there was another label that we don't talk about, which then obviously now we've got Church Road, and that seems to be like the label for like the underground UK scene.
It's one of those labels you don't see very often these days, where you've got a label you can trust.
No.
But it's like, I know if it's on Church Road, I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
And I think in the metal scene, that's kind of unique for me.
Yeah.
For me, speaking as a consumer.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that it's going to be quality if it's on Church Road.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fact that they do like a sort of, like, not blind buy, but I guess like their mail order or their subscription plan, where it's like, you know, you can pay like 25 quid a month and you get a record, and obviously that's such a cool thing to sign up for.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people are signed up to that, and I think that's a testament to like the level of quality of what those guys like put out.
Absolutely. So back to Celestial Sanctuary. Your lyrics pretty horror based, right? So I figure you can't write a load of like grisly lyrics like that without having a few favourite horror movies. What would you say? Are you a horror fan?
I'm actually like not.
You're not?
No. I mean, like, I like the classics. Like, I love like The Thing and House of a Thousand Corpses and like Evil Dead and stuff like that. But I'm not like a horror guy.
Oh, really?
I mean, like most of the lyrical content, like obviously, I guess like Cronenberg films are like body horror, aren't they? And it's more that sort of like visceral kind of like disgusting feeling is like what I try and channel. And as well, like things like some games that like we play, like Elden Ring and like Doom and stuff like that. You know, there's certain elements that we'll take from that to like feed into it as well. But yeah, anything like that's just a bit grisly and pop culture, like
awesome,
it'll find its way in.
Absolutely. Right. There's a final question I'm asking every single person I interview this year. Right? Yeah. We're going to do a playlist of this at the end of the year. I wish I'd thought this one through at the beginning of the year because I've got loads now.
Yeah.
But if the Board of Education came to you and said they wanted a track that every kid before the age of 18 must hear as a formative youth, any genre, what would you play them?
What song?
A song, any genre.
It would probably just it would be all of the ones I'm thinking of are one album, but it would probably be let's go Frayed Ends of Sanity by Metallica.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. First vote for Metallica.
Is it really?
First vote, yeah. I've had Slayer 3 times.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to be the refreshing answer.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
That's all right.
Mate.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Take care.
it. Cheers. Thank you.
And see you later.